Thank you. I have turned on the air conditioner. You will feel better after 2 minutes. silence. First. Now, before jumping into the content of the course, what is the name of the course? Okay, right. Basic programming. So I'm in the right place and you are too. Firstly, I want to introduce myself. My name is Nguyễn Minh Hương. I'm the lecturer from ICT department of USPH. And together, me and Dr. Nguyễn Hoàng Hà will be in charge of the basic programming course for B1 students, for first year students. I'm in charge of this class. I'll check the list of this class later. We have 2 classes. And before start, please, we try to agree to each other about the rules in the class. Rules. Because it's the rule, so we will follow it. Okay? First rule. What is the first rule? First rule about time. Please, no later than 15 minutes. Okay? Come to the class. If you come after 15 minutes, and if I call for attendance check, you are not counted. Right? So please, you're late. The perfect situation is that you come in class at the right time. But if you cannot come on time, try not to be later than 15 minutes. 15, not 50. 15. Okay? 15. 15. The first rule. Normally, do we have any rule in other classes? First rule. No later. Not later than 15 minutes. Okay? Try your best to do that. Secondly, we are talking about basic programming, so for sure you have to use computer, right? And we use the computer in the class only for the course. We do some tasks related to the course. So please, I'm begging you, not use your computer for other purpose rather than for the course. If you need to use your computer for other stuff, because this class is too boring, I cannot stay here 3 hours listen to someone just talking nonsense. If you cannot suffer this misery, you can bring your computer outside. Do whatever you want. Because you have Wi-Fi here. Okay, and outside over there you have a nice view. You can bring some coffee and stay there, do whatever you want. But not in the class. And whatever you do, rather than something related to the course, it will distract other students. So when we are in the class, we have to respect other students. Respect the lecturer, it's up to you. You can respect or not, it's up to you, it's your decision. But other students, I require you to respect other students. If you need to do something privacy, something very private, something for entertainment, go out. Don't annoy other students. Is this okay? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. And when you want to go out, just silence, keep silence. Just leave the class, bring your computer. I don't count anything. I don't have any penalty for this action. It's up to you. Just keep silence. And someone is listening to music also. The guys over there. Hey guys. Okay. If you want to listen to music, you can go out. Listen to the music. Don't stay in the class and listen to the music. It's not respect others' efforts of the other. Try to do something here, something useful. Okay? The second rule. And that's all? No, the third one. The third rule. In order to make the sessions less boring, is that we all together have to work. I will talk here, try to make some demonstration, tries to speak, try to throw the knowledge to the audience. But you, please, at least pretend to hold it. If I throw something, catch. So please, collaborate together. Okay? Sometimes I will ask the questions. You feel free to say. You don't have to keep silent when I ask you a question. Anyone can answer. You can answer loudly or you raise your hand. It's up to you. Okay? I think we have enough time to raise hand. And sometimes I will call someone come to the board, do some tasks, some computation, some demonstration. I will call randomly or volunteer. Okay? Three rules. 3 rules. Remember. Everyone agree? Anyone disagree with the 3 rules? No? Yes? Okay. So I suppose that 3 rules are approved. Now, come back to what we are talking about here. Again, what is your generation? 13, yes. Marie Curie, right? We still have your generation A here. Gen 14. Alright. So my first questions. Basic programming, what do you think we are going to study? Okay. Yes, it's a translation into Vietnamese. But what do you think we are going to do in this course? Yes?
I think that we will study how to write code. Even I need a biology department, and I think the basic programming is helping me to do the biology project.
Yes.
And some of the IT students will, data science and cybersecurity, they need the basic programming because they use computer every day.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So that's my question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. He just mentioned the points. Firstly, the name is basic programming, so of course we will study about programming. Programming, you mentioned about writing code. Writing, you can use your pen, writing.
Make an app.
Make an app, writing a code. But what is code? What is code? What is a piece of code? Piece of code. Have you tried writing some piece of code before?
Python.
Python?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the previous semester, any course?
HTML.
HTML, yes. It's a piece of code. And actually it's a program. Right. And you just mentioned any disciplines. You may come from biology, come from MST, from energy department. All of us, nowadays, everyone use computer. If you don't use your computer, you use your mobile phone. Mobile phone is actually a computer. So it's better that know about this, and in your future you can use computer quite a lot. Maybe you use it to process some data. In the centuries of data is gold. We work with gold. Good. Now for the first lecture, it's only the introduction to programming with C. It's been the main content of our class. What is the requirement for the outcome? And what is the requirement to pass, to mark as passed course is here. Now firstly, prerequisites. In order to understand 60% of what I'm studying in the course, you need to pass the course Introduction to Informatics. Anyone still have to redo the course? No, you passed? You know something about computer, something about programming, right? So firstly, make sure you still remember what you study in the Information to Informatics. Not everything, but at least the main thing. For materials, in every course you need materials. And again, I asked you to spend sufficient time at home to read and think and use your brain in order to understand this course. Read the slides and the textbook. You have many textbooks in programming in C. With C. But we suggest the textbook, namely C Programming Language, the second editions of Ray W. K. Needham and Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie is the famous name. So spend your time and read, find the questions, find the answer. I hope you find the course interesting. Now the second part, the third content here, the class organizing, is really like this. You will need to work in group throughout the course. The last two sessions, theory sections, you will have to work in group, and we evaluate your work, assess your work, mark your projects, group projects, as midterm exam. Okay? So for midterm exam, you don't have to do any examination, but you have to do a project. Got it? You have to do a project. And based on the quality of the projects that you've done, we will give you marks, evaluate how good, how much you understand about programming. You see. So from now, after this session, talk to each other, find your partners, find your members of the group to create a group of 6 or 7 students per group. And believe me, at first you will think, okay, if work in a group, it's better that I find someone from ICT. It's better that I find someone very good at programming, right? However, your final result, we tried and we have techniques to evaluate each one of you in a group. It means that not everyone in the same group have the same marks. Someone have very good, but someone very bad. It depends on the quality of your work and your contribution in the project. So before thinking about who you're looking for to work with, thinking about what you can do, and then find one who can work with you together. Right? For attendance check, did you use fingerprint? No? But you have practical session. For practical section, maybe you will ask, we will ask the tutors to check your attendance. Check your attendance. And last year, we had to do this course nearly online. No, it was online, so we used Zoom. But I heard that the COVID-19 pandemic ended. So we can see each other face to face, not online. Every information, slides, notification of the course, you can find in Moodle. Do you have the Moodle course?
Yes.
This course is on Moodle.
Yes.
Okay. We will upload the materials over there, and you will receive the notifications on Moodle. All the notifications related to examination, about organizing, about classes, etc. This assessment is not true. We will correct it. For the final examination, you will have online-based tests. Final examination, you will have online-based tests. For midterm exam, you will have a project to do. Projects and online quiz. This is compulsory to learn this course. You have to learn.
Yes.
You have to attend this course.
Yes.
Anyone don't want to attend this course, but I still be here because it's the must. Anyone? Honestly? Someone over there? You don't want to attend this course, but you have to. Anyone was forced to learn this course? Honestly? No one. Okay, if you're happy. The question, what when we study in this course, it's actually here, only 2 lines. Only 2 lines. The objectives of the course. We try to understand, to apply the concept of programming. You just said about the code, you just said about the applications, talk about computer you use every day. But actually, what is programming? What is programming? All the concept of programming is that we try to solve problem, any kind of problem, provided that they are described mathematically. solve the problem with the help of a computer. The help of a computer. It's like we have the program. So we try to find the solution. The solution can be described as steps by steps. And these steps is actually the algorithms. So you have the term algorithm, the term a program, an algorithm, right? And our responsibility of the developer who writing the code is that try to ask the computer follow the steps that is described in the solution, in the algorithm. So what we are doing is we try to describe the algorithm in the language of the computer. It means you are writing computer programs. In other words, you are programming. Okay? So after you understand the concept of the programming, we will focus on this process, converts algorithm into a program that the computer can run. So actually, after the course, you are able to understand the process, how to write source code. Source code. It's like you write a program in the programming language. What is compiling and interpreting? It means what you're writing, how the code is translated into what? Into machine language. What is machine language? English? Vietnamese? Yeah, it's translation, but I asked the meaning. What is the machine language? What language that your computer talks? What is it? Binary, yes. Good. You all know about binary, at least? Binary, right. Binary actually is a numbering system that we use only 2 digits, 0 and 1. The computer is process everything in binary. It's not only bits, 1 or 0, 1 or 0. Okay? But you ask it to compute, solve the quadrature equation, for example. And you have to talk the language of the computer. But how can you translate what you want into binary? The way is that you write some code. The code is human-friendly language. And this code needs to be compiled into binary that your computer can understand. So this is the process of compiling and interpreting. And of course, because it's programming, you have to practice. So you have to use the tools, the compiler and the editor to write some instruction, right? Write program. And use the tool to translate it into machine language, which is binary. The third objective is to understand the procedural programming essentials. Some terms. In my experience, every generation is only like 30% of the students really understand about data type, variables, control structure after this course. And I hope this year this percentage will be higher. Try to be in the 30% of a student who can understand the basic terms. At least basic terms, understand what is it before using it. And you have to practice every week. Every week. We have totally how many weeks? 8 weeks? 8 weeks. So you have to practice 12 hours in total in class. But 12 hours is nothing. You cannot program properly after 12 hours of practicing. You need more. How many hours you think? How many hours for pilots to be guaranteed to receive the diploma, the certificates that he can fly? Like, how many training hours for a pilot?
I think it's 450 hours.
Only hundreds? I think it's thousands.
No, I see it.
Okay, so you see, for pilots and for programming, in order to be a developer, you need much more than 12 hours.
8 years.
I don't know, it depends.
8
It
years on
depends.
PhD.
So it's up to you, please. It's up to you. If you want to study this course properly, feel great after this course stop because you satisfied with what you do. Spend enough time for this, not only in class but also at home or somewhere in the coffee shop, anywhere that you can practice. Right, this is the overview, the objectives of the course. Objectives means that when you pass this course, you have to understand all of these previous definitions. You can apply some of them. If you understand, okay, you have 10 over 20. If you are able to apply the code, you have to learn that. Maybe 12, 14, 15 over 20. If you can write the code separately without any reference to the existing code, 20 is the creation. Now for today, the content that we try to discuss for today. Firstly, what is computer programming? You have the general idea. Some overview of the language that we choose to teach in this course to demonstrate the programming, which is C language, the programming language C. We will try to compile the Hello World, the very first program. And we'll discuss some practical issues that have you to start writing a program. Some conventions that we try to agree with each other when we do the programming. What is computer programming? I just explained. Anyone can explain again or in your own way. How do you understand about computer programming? What is computer programming? What is it? The concept I show you. Yes, please. Go on.
It's like writing a recipe for computer, not teach it, but write the recipe.
about there are some programs help you to solve equations, right? And actually, the program solving equation is a computer program. It's not you who written it, who wrote it. But someone else write it, and you just use it to solve an equation. That's good. Solving equations. An equation is actually a problem, right? What we want is that. What we want? For example, you have the equations 5 multiplied by x. And write it here. You have 5x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay? It's the problem. Problem is asking what is x? X equal to? This is a question, so this is a problem. A problem. And you can write a program to ask the computer, compute x, whatever this number is 5 or 7 or 1.5 or any number, and this number. So we can write ax plus b equal to 0, x equal to what? This is a problem. You can write a program can be written in the computer to solve find x. Okay, now it's for you the questions. 5x plus 1 is 0. What is x? Yes?
X is equal to negative 1 over 5.
Okay. Minus 1/5. How can you compute it? How can you know? How?
I take the one at the left side to the right side of the equal, and then it becomes negative 1. After that, I count it by take 1 divided by 5.
Okay, good. So actually, if I write this A and this is B, x will be equal to minus B divided by A. Okay, this is how you solve it.
Yes.
And you can write some instruction to the computer. Hey computer, in order to compute ax plus b, compute x, you have to firstly divide what is minus b. Secondly, divide b by a. And you have to check, right? You have to ask the computer, firstly check if a equal to 0 or not, right? So these are the instruction, and this instruction is included in the program. Actually, program is the list of this is what we taught. We always say talk it cheap. Don't talk, show me the code. That's all. You understand? Show me the code. Talk it cheap, show me the code. This is what I say. We talk to the computer. We list the instructions to the computer to solve the problem. Okay. In order to solve that, firstly, computer, check if a equal to 0 or not. What happens if a equal to 0? Check B. If B, there are, okay, the equation is correct in with any x. So this is the result. This is the result. And if b is different from 0, there doesn't exist any number, any value of x, right? So this is the result. This is the result. And you just ask the computer to do step by step, check A, check B. If this happens, do this, do that. This is an instruction. And this instruction must be written. This instruction, the solution, they are actually the algorithm. The algorithm to solve the problem. And this algorithm must be written in some kind of language, which we call the source code or the programming language. Programming language. That you can see, it was listed here. C, C++, Java, Python, any other language, programming language that you heard? Yes? Any other programming language? Any other programming language? You heard? Any other? There are many of them. They are all called programming language. So what is programming language? Yes, it's a translation. What is the meaning? What is a programming language? Is this English? It looks like English because you use if, else, then. It looks like English, but it's not English. Actually, it's a human-like language, and we use English because it's popular. It's English-like language. Human can read it and write it quite convenient. Right? Some human-like language to describe the algorithm, the solution. And this source code, this programming language, after you write a program, it can be compiled, translate. You can think it like it's a translation. It should be translated into binary. The computer instructions in binary. The machine language. And then the computer, the CPU itself, can follow this instruction, do one by one step. Like you said, firstly check A, secondly check B, and then what to do next, the instruction. Okay. 5 minutes break? 5 minutes break? Only 5, please. Go out, refresh yourself, and come back. continue. So you have some idea about basic code in programming. Firstly, the problem, the solution, writing step by step, actually called the algorithm. For example, over here, the algorithm to find x. To solve the equation ax plus b equal to 0, and you ask the computer to compute x, you can list the solution, and this solution, actually the algorithms, what to do first, what to do next, if this happened, to do what. This is the algorithm. And programming is that you using the human-like language to describe the algorithm. And then we use a tool, a translator, translate the human-like instructions, the algorithm, into machine language, which is binary. And then the computer can understand and follow. What exactly the translator here? Do you have to translate yourself from human-like language into machine language? No, you don't have to. There is tools. And these tools, it can be interpreter or compiler. Interpreter and compiler are two different entities. They are different, although they play the same roles, which is the translator. The interpreter will do the interpretations, which is it's like online translator, like cabin translator. You know about cabin translation? Cabin translation is when someone talked in foreign language, and the translator who's sitting in the cabin translate at the same time. So the interpreter do the interpretation. It's actually it translates the programming language, the program in programming language, into machine code in runtime. Whenever you input, you write a program, you run the program. When you run the program, at the same time, the interpreter will translate it into machine code. So machine code is produced at one time. And it's more flexible to change. It's like whenever you change the source code over here, you will see the change in the output immediately at runtime. So it's interpreter, like cabin translator, right? Why compilator do the compilation different? It's like you have a program writing a programming language, the source code. From now on, we call it the source code. The source code, whenever you use the compiler, is create a translated version in machine code of the source code, and then we have to process here. First is the compilation, and the second is running. It's running process. So after you translate, the compiler translate the source code into machine code, you input it into the executor. You create an executable file, which is in binary, and the computer will run only the executable file. Run. So you will see here there are two separate files: the source code and the executable file. The executable file can be run separately without knowing about the source code. And anytime you make a change in the source code, you have to compile again the source code. I translate again to update, to create a new executable file. Okay. For this kind of translator, the compiler, it can provide better performance compared to the interpreter. Better performance is mean when you run the code, it's faster. Because the computer don't have to wait for the translation. It has already the translation. It's offline translation, not cabin translation, offline translation. And it has only to care about the executable file. You don't have to care about what is written before it. Right? And in our course, we use C language. This is the language that we must use the compiler, not the interpreter, the compiler. What about HTML? You know what HTML? Is it's used compiler or interpreter? Compiler or interpreter. How can you run? How can you check the HTML file, the result of the HTML? Do you have to compile it? Do you have to run any tool to compile it?
Yes.
Which is?
The run button in HTML.
The run button in HTML?
Yeah, it's HTML have a run.
Is there a run button? What tool you? Okay, when you write HTML, you write in which tools? In?
W3S
Notepad? Okay. An editor, a text editor. You write in text editor. And then how can you check the result? W3S form. Okay, so you run online. Have you tried to open the text file, the HTML file?
Yes.
By a browser, internet browser?
Yes.
Yes, and you can see also the output, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? And you don't have to, actually you don't have to run anything. You just open it with the correct application and then you see the result. This is programming. HTML is actually you programming, but it's used interpreter. What you write in the HTML You open it with the browser and you see the change. So two different. And here in the course we use C programming language, and you need to use the compiler. The exact definitions for programming language. Programming language is the formal language, type language. Comprise a set of instructions that computer can produce various kinds of output. And I just ask you, can you list out any other programming language than C or Python or Java? We have a lot. What did you find here? C, B, Colin, Pascal.
Yeah.
We have C, C++, C#, Java, assembly language. You heard about this? Assembly language?
No.
No? In introduction to informatics, you heard about this. Assembly language. JavaScript, Ruby, many, Swift, Go, etc. Many of these. But the most popular programming language nowadays includes Java, C, C++, C and C++, PHP, using for web application, and Python. Python is powerful. Python. And after you study C, this basic programming, you can study yourself. Python. After you understand the logic of programming, do it. Have you seen it before? Some of you have already do some experiments, try coding before. Have a read. Let's say this is some text written in another language. Can you guess what is the input and what is the output of this program? A program. This means you, like this, you write a program to compute X, and you have to input A and B, and the output is the value of X. So for this program, what are inputs and what is the output? What is the output? Input and output. Have a look. Have a look. What is the input and what is the output? Can you guess? Just guess. Yes. It's human-like language. It's English. You know English. Can you guess? Yes. Can you guess? Any guess? Wait, we will see someone else. Any guess? Anyone give me your guess? I call randomly. we ask someone on the back who is using computer, very enthusiastically. You must know about programming. Might know, must know. Any volunteer first? I have to pick up someone. Someone over here. You try the code? No. Try the code to know the result, know the output. Is it necessary? Oh, it's a very nice view from here. You can see the code. It's not that hard. Why when I come everyone open Moodle? Strange. What are you looking for on Moodle? You find the answer on Moodle? Really? What is behind the Moodle? Okay, I find someone who's not access to Moodle, but Facebook now. You're not picking it up, I see. About the input and output of the source code? No? Okay, thank you. So please do something relevant to the course. Okay, you use Facebook, but to ask someone for the answer, it's okay, it's relevant. But you use Facebook for other stuff, it's not relevant. And I still don't have any answer for the questions what you are looking for on Moodle when I ask the input and output of this program. Is this written in the Moodle? No? Or Moodle is just the cover of something under this. Any answer? Input, output? You have to wait. I will save the harder questions for you. Anyone? You? Okay? Good.
Input is 13.5 and 1.34. Output is 15.04.
Okay. And what is the relation between output?
Output is the sum of the two input.
Thank you. You guess it, and this correct is correct. Now you will see. Even we don't know anything about programming, or you may know something. I'm sure you know something. You can guess from what is showing the result here. Input is the number, the first number, and the second number. So inputs are two numbers, two decimal number. right? Two numbers, and output is another number, which is the sum, the addition. When you add two previous number together, and then you will have the output. And look at the code itself. It's explained. Something you have here. Number one, number two, input. So it means you have to input two value, and then you compute something named sum, S-U-M, equal to something plus something. And then at the end you have the word print. Print is English. Print out. Print out, you have the red and the black number here. Number one, number two, and sum. So you can guess. You can input two numbers, namely number one, number two. You compute the summations of these two numbers, and then print out all the two numbers and the addition of the two numbers. So the purpose of this course, this code, this source code, piece of code, is to compute, to add two numbers. So you can see, this is an example of a program. A program is a solution for a problem, right? And the solution, you need to input it some information. And the program will do step by step some computation and return an output. That is computed, defined from the input. And this is an example. But this is in Python, not in C. Python. Right? Is there anyone here study ICT, CS, cybersecurity and data science? Raise your hand. ICT, only few of you. Two ICT. What about the other? Not ICT. Bio. You are from space, right? Space. And this group, you are from bio. Outside of the second line. Biology. ICT. Why ask you don't raise your hand? What happened? Scared? No. Don't be scared if you are ICT in this course. Because in this course, we, the lecturer, treat the students the same. It's not because you are ICT students, so we require you higher. No, it's not. However, you will be the one, require yourself will be better in this course. Not such. We treat you are equally. Everyone who meets the requirement, the outcomes requirement of the course will pass, and who not, you have to retake whatever. Wherever you are come from, ICT or biology or MSc or AE or any discipline, you don't care, provided that you meet the requirements. But for ICT student, you have to require yourself higher. It's like not just pass, good point, good marks, excellent. Okay. So please, if you want follow the ICT path, if you are not ICT student, it doesn't mean that you don't need this course. It doesn't mean that we will require you lower. No, the same. And it doesn't mean that you cannot study well this course. You can do very well. Last year I had a student coming from biology discipline. He got top mark in this course. Surprisingly, better than ICT students. So don't limit yourself because you are studying this from art. We are in this course and we consider everything related to this course. Good? So, at first, whenever you see the code, whenever I ask you the questions, play a habit using your brain. Just answer. Not search on the internet. Don't ask your friend via Facebook, maybe. And someone ask friend via some game, for example, you have a chat in the game, and ask him to make playing game in the class official, acceptable. Okay, many language. And why did you see? Someone may expect that we will learn kind of trendy, the latest popular language, very trendy, like Python. It's very trendy. We talk a lot about the revolution 4.0. We talk a lot about AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. So we have to learn something trendy to catch the trend. But all back to basic. Back to basic. Firstly, C is an very old language, but it's still being used nowadays. Popular. So it must have the reason for this. And it belongs to the top paying programming language. Who work with C, you got the top salary. So C is still necessary. And thirdly, because it's the basic, and C is very good for us to understand the concept of programming. And whenever you understand the concept of the programming, you can learn other language. Whenever you want, whatever you want. The same like foreign language. If you are good at English, you may good at French?
No.
No?
French is nearly the same as English, but different in pronunciation.
The problem is that sometimes we try to apply the logic of English into French. It's only this problem. But I believe that when you are good at English, good at one language, you have some logic inside your mind and you learn the other language very quickly. I believe that you and me, you can be good at other language rather than English, provided you like it. If you don't like it, there is no way that this can penetrate on your brain. You must like it first and use it. And believe me, some of you, after the next 2 years, you fly to France, do your internship. You are very good at English. You really don't like French. And you didn't study French. But when you from there, in France, you start speaking French. Surprisingly, you can do this. And the same here. You study C. Okay, C is old, it's boring, it's hard, it's nonsense. But after this course, for bio student, for example, next year you will study R, some tools. You need to program a little bit, not much, a little bit. You will thanks to the course learning C. So C has some features that can demonstrate very well the concept of programming, and it's help you to learn other language. If you don't like C, the C programming language, please throw away this idea and start liking C by spend enough time for this. Read. It's like you spend enough time, you will love it. Now for this, history is very long. It's since 1967, etc. I didn't see that. If you are curious about the history of C, you can have a look at this. And someone may, in the past, you like history. You may like it. Right? In short, C is a programming language. Now for a component of the C program. In any language, we have to study what? Grammar. Right? You study English, you have to study grammar. You study the vocabulary, and then you study the grammar, how to string the words together in order to make a sentence. Right? And the same for French. Have you stopped learning French? Have you started? Not yet? Next year?
No.
Already?
No.
Next year you have to study French.
Yes.
I remember you need 90 hours of French. 90 hours.
No.
Alright, for any language, you have to study vocabulary, grammar. Sometimes you have to study pronunciation. Thanks God. For programming language, you don't have to learn the pronunciation, only writing. Now, the grammar and the vocabulary, they are arranged in the program. You study literature before at high school, right? At high school, did you study literature?
Yes.
How to write what is this called? A lecture? No. A story, for example. How to write a story? You have to write a story.
Pronunciation.
No.
You have to write firstly the opening, some opening text to introduce this to that. I'm going to talk about this, and this includes this, and then you have the body of the text, right? The body, and then the conclusion. Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a template for every story writing. And the same here. For programming, you will need this called the header. Like the introduction to say that in this program I will need to use vocabulary, English, words. Okay? And let's say this text will be about history. So we need to check the terms in history sector. And this include here, actually you include the library. Right? In the program, if you compute with integer, with some math operations, you need to add the library that define what is addition, what is subtraction, what is division, what is it, and the compute the remainder, modulo, etc. So you have to add the header that mentioned about a library where you will be looking for some vocabulary from there. We call this the pre-procedure directives. Pre-procedure directives. But you can keep it in mind, it's a header. A header. And then for the text you will have the body, right? The body of the text. And for a C program, you will need the body is included in the main function. Main function. And this main function is where the operating system, the OS of the computer, will access and start running the program. So whenever you run a program, everything will start. When everything will start at the main function. The main function. Okay? Everything outside of the main function is the support. It's like library, something pre-definition for the main function. But whenever the program is run, it starts from the main function, INT main function. And the content of the main function is included inside the braces, this parenthesis. This parenthesis. Now, again, this is a C program. It's written in something like language. Can you explain for me what is the purpose of this program? What is the output of this program? What is the input and output? Someone raise yes, please. Can you jump?
The output is the text hello world, and it doesn't have an input.
Thank you. This is correct. So it's called the Hello World program. Every time we talk about Hello World program, it's a very basic program in any language. Good. As you see, the body of the text is contained only 2 lines, 2 meaning lines. The lines in green over here, we call this, what is it? As some caption, some command. It's called a command to explain. It's not run in the program. And here is the program will run. This command line, this line. And this lines, actually we have a function named printf. And yes, this one will print out the hello world. The hello world. This is the grammar. And now, we talk about the vocabulary. The vocabulary of the language, before you can pronounce or you can read the word, you have to understand the alphabet. How many characters are there in the English alphabet? 20? 26? 26? 27?
27.
Really?
Yeah, 27.
I remember it's 26. 26 or 27? English. 26? Yes, 26. I remember it's 26. If it's not, I have to check. 26. What about Vietnamese alphabet? I don't know. I don't remember. You can check it. The same here. The same here. For programming, you have to use the characters in English alphabets. And it's distinguished between upper and lower case. It means if you write the lower a is equal to 1, it's different from the big A. Okay, these two are the two different characters. Upper and lower, they are distinguished. Beside the alphabet, we have the digits from 0 to 9 and some special characters. Special characters, for example, what symbol you use to display the addition? The plus, yes? It's a special character. What symbol you use for division? Slash. Good. And what you use to compute the remainder of a division? No, it's not a star. The percentage. That's it. Percentage. That's good. So we have the character set to write, to use the language. Beside the character set, we have keywords. Keywords are reserved words. It has unique meaning. It has a fixed meaning, and you are the user. You cannot change. It's defined in the language. And the keywords must be in lowercase. Lowercase, remember that? For example, you come back to this. This include over here is a keyword. If you change this, the program won't run. Keyword. int is the keyword for integer. It has meaning, fixed meaning. Right? The main function also. But for the function that you define yourself, you can name it whatever. But for the main function, you have to keep it. But anyway, you have return is the keyword. If you use the nice, the convenient editor, like Visual Studio Code, for example, this keyword will be in color, the same color for every keyword, so you can distinguish it. Beside the keywords, we have identifiers. Identifier is the name that we given to C entities. It's like you name it. You create a new things in your program, like variable, functions, structures. I don't know if you understand right now the variable, function, or structure. But you create something in the program and you can name it in order to and you name it, and these things we call identifier. Identifier. And whenever you name the thing, the identifier, the thing, you will use it with the name that you mark, that you give it. And the rule for writing an identifier is that you can use letter, digits, and the underscore. Only 3 types of character. And the rule is that for the first letter, it cannot be the digits. You cannot name something in program with the beginning with the digits. For example, you will see INTX is actually this identifier. X is the name that you give to a variable in a program. And this variable, let's say his name is variable, his type is variable. This variable is that you use to store an integer value. And it's named X. So every time you call X, You call X. You open X. You look at X. It means you look at an integer. You work with an integer number, X. The name is given to variable X. Now let's try some example. Which one is the valid? Which one is the valid? Which one is the valid identifier? Let's say student. Student with the lowercase, uppercase, students. One student. Student underscore one underscore student. Okay, we have 5 names that we can give to the thing, the identifier in the things, identifier to the things, to a variable in program, in C program. Which one is the valid one, the correct one? Now we check one by one. The first, student 1. Is it valid?
Yes.
Yes, good. Second?
Yes.
Yes. The third?
Yes.
Yes. Who yes? Who no? Who yes? Raise your hand. Someone say yes. Who say no? Raise your hand. Who say no? Is it a valid one? Thank you for the one who raised your hand. The other, neither. Say yes, neither. Or say no. So what is it? Yes or no?
Neither nor.
It's no.
Neither or.
Why?
Các anh có bị buộc mày.
First letter, not a digit.
Neither nor.
Okay? So please, someone asks, why my program is still running with arrow? Why is arrow? This is the arrow. You don't know the conventions, the rule. The third one, is this correct? No, the one for 164, yes. And the last one, the underscore, student.
No.
No, yes? Yes or no?
No.
No? Yes. 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 It doesn't violate the convention, the rules. The rule is only the first letter, not the digit, but it can be an underscore. But be careful. Be careful. This is for C programming language, and for some compiler, C is acceptable. But maybe you use some more modern compiler. The rule will change. Now the preprocessor, we have mentioned before in the program, preprocessor directives. Here. It's a text substitution instructing the compiler to do the preprocessing. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's like before running a program, the computer must collect all the library to look for the definition, look for the vocabulary, before translate, before reading the documents. The same like you're writing English, you use dictionary, right? And because you are reading an English document, so you have to look for not the German dictionary. So same here. The preprocessor is half the computer to collect all the related dictionaries or library, all the information. Half the computer, the compiler, understand the program. And it should be in the first column. Start with the shape, the sharp symbol over here, sharp. Include, define. These are included, these define are the keywords. Okay? And you will add the dictionary, one dictionary. Here is what library. Here is like this is the standard in our library of C. Add just like this. Say hello.h is actually another program where you define your own dictionary. And for the program, you have to access to your user-defined dictionary to look for the definition. Or you will define max array length. All of these texts represented by a value 20. So whenever you use max array length, it means 20. Okay, this is about how it looks like a program. Do you need a break? 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, 5 minutes break. And then we will finalize. We have only 4 or 5 minutes left, so very long lecture. Okay, so we have done with the component of the C program. We need the header, body. Don't need for conclusion, right? The body is should be the integer, the main function. There must be always the main function in the program. And actually a program, a solution can be divided into smaller tasks. And this task can be written in different files. Different files. All of these files has only one main function. This makes a program. So we have the headers, the program. And now, how we compile a C program. Previously, I mentioned that we can use the tools, right? But the tools, it doesn't run itself. You have to run it. And what exactly the process when you compile a C program. Now let's say you have a C program where the program Hello World you just see with the header and the main function. In the main function there are several commands. And this C program is input and it must go through a compilation process. And the output of the compilation process is an executable file, which is in what? In binary, a binary file. Binary file. Now the process will go through. Firstly, the step of preprocessor. The preprocessor is when you get rid of all the commands. Commands like this. You have to see the commands here. The green text over here. The text in green. Remove all the commands because the computer don't need this command to run the program. We need the command, not the computer. So firstly, the program is pre-processed. All the commands will be removed. All the code that is included in the header files will be included in the code. And any definition we defined before macro will be replaced by their values. Let's say for this step, the input of this step is the .c program, the program .c. The extension is .c. And the output of this process is the program, what is it? .i, the file name .i. And the file .i will look like this. This will look like this. Okay? And you can run with the command GCC. GCC is the name of the compiler. Something like this. Some of you may be familiar with the terminals, right? And if you have never seen it, don't be afraid. You can start using from now. In any computer, you can open the command line. This, something like this. In yours, it's going to be black. I choose the white. The terminal. Later, you can run with the terminal, and also you can run in the terminal of Visual Studio Code. It's an editor. It's like Notepad, It's like Notepad, but more professional for coding. So the same, you can run it too small, make it bigger. Now, let's say we have the file name hello.c. Hello.c. This I'm gonna open the hello.c. You can open with any editor that you have, maybe Notepad. But in this course, I will instruct you to use the editor, the Visual Studio Code as the editor for this course. Everyone please try to do the same, and we can support you. Where is that? Hello.c. The name is hello.c, and you can open it with. Oops. Here. Hello.c. You can look down like this. The hello.c. Oh, sorry, it's not the hello.c. It's something else. I have to use another. This one is not the correct one. Hello.c. This one is the correct one. Oh, it's still not the hello.c. What happened to my hello.c? Say hello. Say hello.c. No. Its example is too advanced. Copy from here. You can type yourself again. Oh, sorry, I have to bring it back. One, because I have seen before. Save it. Save it. Okay. Wait a minute. Come back to it. The input is the .c, and we run the C. Okay. Right? So for this, it's just a command. It's just a command. GCC is the name of the compiler. is you ask the compiler to pre-process the data, pre-process the .c, the hello world program, and it will pre-process this, do all the steps. Wow, this arrow, what happened? GCC, maybe. Let me check why there is no one. It's G++. Okay, this has worked. This doesn't look like. Yeah, it's correct. It's just I copy paste, so I make a mistake. Something like this when you run /E. Okay, when you run the compiler will pre-process the .c file and then include all the code that in the library and in the header to the program, and you will see the form of a file, .i files look like this. This is this in the figure, you can see. Many things here, you don't have to understand it. It's just step by step. Okay, and this .i file will be input for the next step. This next step is called next step over here, the compiler. .i and the output of this is .s file, the compiler. Okay. And for this compiler, it will generate the intermediate representation. An intermediate representation is will look like this, and this is .s. Okay, and the next step, the file will go through the assembler. The input is s.s file, and the output is .o file. .o file is the binary file. You can run the GCC. GCC is the name of the compiler, and this is the code. See, I cannot see it here. GCC. Let's say list first. I have hello1.c over here, and then I'm GCC compile the code to create the binary file. hello1.c. Why is already happened? Expected for a function. Something wrong when I copy paste. Something wrong with this. Is enter. Right. Good. Run again. Okay, that works. And you will see the new file is added. hello1.o is the binary file. And why we need this binary file? Why do we need the binary file? Why don't we just compile and run? Why we have to carry a binary file? Over here is called object file. The binary file is really important in case in the future if you are asked by the customer to write a software, for example, a product. Instead either giving them the source code, because with the source code it's mean. You give them everything. They buy everything with the cheap price, and what they require is only the application that's usable, not the source code. So in case you want to deliver only the application itself, to make it work only the running file, you can deliver only the objects files and the application run, and you can keep the source code for yourself. Anytime they need to upgrade the product, they have to ask you because they don't have the source code. I shouldn't reveal this to you. It should make you find yourself. Anyway, so please be aware that does exist the executable file and the source codes. They are different. Now you just see I use GCC. GCC is the tool. Have first to compile the source code in machine language, and it's developed, produced by GNU projects and supporting various programming languages, and C is one of this. And in this course, everyone, you use any operating system on your computer, Mac OS, Windows, Ubuntu, Linux, Arch, anything, we use GCC. So, make sure that you can run GCC for your final projects and exams. Some of you may be very lazy, and you ask, may I use the online compiler? Yeah, you can use the online compiler, but not in the course, not in the exam, not in your project. The online compiler is online, so every time you have to, if you want to use it, you have to use the internet, firstly. Secondly, you learn nothing from the online compiler. It's something very easy come and easy go. So please aware of the compiler, and we use GCC for our course. Now in order to write and run program in C, you will need to set up the environment. It's called development environment. And it may differ from OS, from the operating system. If you are using Windows, you have a computer here, you access to the internet, you are checking Facebook. But when I ask, can you set up a development environment? No, I don't know. It's too difficult. I don't understand. But you spend time to chat on Facebook, shopping, playing game, trading. Spend your time and your effort to install successfully the environment of the course. It's a must, compulsory. Now for Windows compiler, we still use GCC, but you need the library for this. So firstly, install MingW, MINGW package from the website. And then you have to add the path binary to set up the variable environment. You don't have to understand all of this. The purpose of these slides is help you to install successfully the compiler, the tool that you will use for the course. Of course, for practical session, you will use the computer, USDH, the common computer in the lab. You don't have to use your own laptop. But it would be great if you can do it yourself at home. You don't need to wait until the lab work to come to practice. It's better that you can practice with your computer. So try to set up the tool, the compiler, and the editor. You just mentioned about Notepad, right? Anyone other student, do you use any other editor? Editor is a software that you use to write text. Writing code is writing text. Besides Notepad, what do you do? What you use as an editor?
HTML.
HTML is the name of the programming language. The editor.
W3S.
That is online. Any editor? CodeBlock. I haven't used it before. Any other? Someone use MacBook over there. What do you use for as an editor? No, it's not MacBook. Apple. Okay, the girls, please. What editor you use in your computer? What editor? Can you give me the name? What is it? What editor you use? No, the editor. This is online. It's a web page. Editor is somewhere you write, you type the code, and it's no, the terminal is just to run the code. When you write the code, write the program, and save this as text file. What is it? What you use? Have you ever tried to type something? Type the text? So what software you use to type the text on? Doc. Okay, that was type of text, but not for coding. What about you? What program you use? Xcode. Okay, Xcode. Xcode is also a compiler, an editor, but Xcode is quite heavy. It's quite heavy. GCC would be better. Someone use Windows. What editor that you use? Visual. Okay, Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. And someone use Notepad. I want to ask if you know exactly what is the editor that I'm talking about. What editor that you use? Visual Studio Code 2. And the girl use Notepad? Okay. It's time to change. Notepad is quick for text, but it's not easy for coding. And what about you? What editor you use? Just have to talk about editor. What editor you use to write the code? Write HTML. You learn HTML? Visual C? What is Visual C? Or you have to learn C again. What is the editor? What is editor? It's an editor. Now I want to ask, using mobile phone, do you any editor on your mobile phone? On your computer? What editor do you use? It's you, not him. What do you use? So please show me your Visual Studio Code on your computer. Not your computer, not his. I asked you not to use computer, so you use mobile phone. Good. What editor you use on your? You said you use Visual Studio Code. Where is Visual Studio Code? In your computer? No, you don't know write editor. Please read again. It's nice. What editor do you use to write code or text? Notepad? No. Which one? Nothing? So how can you write the HTML? A piece of paper. Great, thank you. We have an editor and not a piece of paper. It surprised me, but it's correct. I'm asking him what you use as an editor. A paper, yes, you can write on the paper, sure. But I'm asking from the software and computer. No, we know PowerShell is like a terminal. You have the code on this, not writing the code. So please, if someone still don't understand what is I'm asking, the editor, search for this. Remember what you type on. If you use your computer, right? You write some document, you would use Microsoft Word. If you just take a very quick note without needing for format, you can use Notepad. And if you don't have a computer, you can write on paper. And so, anyway, it's not too late. It's not too late to get to know about the software, about the editor, the Notepad, right? Now, maybe you are using different editor, like Notepad, Xcode, Visual Studio Code, etc. Please try this one. Install Visual Studio Code, and this is an editor. Support you a lot when you're writing code because how it look like? It will show you. Oops, sorry. Over here. It will show you. Oops. You can see here. If you install the C++ plugin, the code will looks very nice. Very nice. You will see the header will be in the specific color. Any keyword will be in good color. And also you can track for a block of codes like this. You can track for the text, many things. And you will see all the commands is in green or some other color. So it supports, the editor supports you to write the code. And sometimes it suggests you with some command library existing in C. You don't have to search anywhere. They will suggest you how to write the code. For example, you want to write a loop for I running from 1 to 10. And whenever you type 4, it will show you the syntax for braces, parentheses, etc. It's helped you a lot. It's like an auto translation tools for you. What? Okay, and whenever have to check for the tool GCC if it exists or not. I think some of you, when you buy your computer, it's already installed. You don't have to install the GCC. GCC is something very popular, very must-have in every computer. So if you need to install it, you can follow the step over here. For Linux, who use Linux operating system in this class? Linux? Okay? Linux. It's easier. It's even easier. You don't have to set up anything. Just check if GCC exists, which version is it, and if it doesn't exist, you can install the package, the GCC. And also you will need the editor, Visual Studio Code, add the plugin and set up the environment to link the Visual Studio Code with the GCC. For Mac OS, the same. You have to install GCC. Check if it exists, it's installed or not. If it's not, you install. If it's ready over there, it will show the version, so you don't have to do anything. And also use Visual Studio Code. Right, you can start writing some C program. To start writing a C program, firstly you have to define what is the input, what should be the output, and let's try to display some data on screen, print out. And there are, silence please, why you are so excited. You are installing the environment already? Save it later. After this session, you have time, you have all the weekend to install, to set up the environment. I'm very curious. This couple over there, he looks very happy. I'm curious what story you are talking about. Right. Now for your first practical session, you will practice with some basic program. For basic program, we will try to fit some data into the program and print out something. And to print out, to work with input and output, there are some functions that popularly used. For example, getChar and putChar is help you to input some character like ABCD, IFG, or any numbers in form of a character. Get some character and print out some character. And if you work with strings, it's like a word. You have a series of character. We call this string. You can use scanf and printf. Now the task is quite easy. You can test after you successfully config the environment. You can create a C program to print out hello world. This is what I'm doing in the screen. And after you write a program, you can compile it. You write it and create a C program in an editor, like we use Visual Studio Code. The hello.c over here, and then open the terminal running. All of this I will show you. Now, after you have the hello.c a program. You can name anything, but the extension must be .c. Because we are working with C. .c, what you have here, like this. Okay. So you see, you can create a program namely hello1.c, hello2.c, no hello.c, your name.c, whatever, .c, and type this code on an editor, a Visual Studio Code. This is what we suggest. After you typing correctly everything, save it as the name over here, and then you open the terminals. You open the terminals over there. Go try the window PowerShell. Any terminal. Command line. You go to the path that contains the file over here. Let's see. Right? And then to compile it, you use GCC. Just GCC. The name of the file. Okay? No arrows means words. And let's see what is created. What is created? We have the file, the executable file, namely a.out. It's default. You can name also the output, the executable file. And after you have the executable file, you run it. And in order to run it, just run it. A.out. Yes, that's it. And it's printed out to the wall on the screen. Right? And when you come to the lab in USDH, the 5th floor, you may see something like this. Oops. You can see the terminal inside the Visual Studio Code, and you can run this directly here on the terminal. Run it, and the result is the same. But I have to come to this code. Okay, but you have to come to the right, the folder that store the file. Okay, I just demonstrate how to compile a file. You just run the command GCC. It's like you ask the compiler to translate, compile a C program .c to create an executable file, and then you run the execute the file, and see the result. There exists some trouble you may encounter. This depends on your computer and yourself. How you live, how you behave. No, I'm just kidding. Now you cannot, if you cannot find GCC, either it is not installed or incorrect path set up to GCC. So please follow the step, follow the step that is shown in the slides. You will find the slides on Moodle. Some problem with permission denied is by when you successfully install the environment, but when you compile the file, it shows permission denied. It's because the C program file, you cannot access it, so you have to change the permission using the command like chmod, etc. You can search for this. It's unique. It's called Unix command. Right, some basic coding convention, please. We need it. In the future, you will work in groups, so we have to make sure every member in the group understand each other. To make the code, so you have to make the code readable, maintainable, reusable, and efficient, etc. And we try to reduce the risk of bugs, error in the code, easy to find, and it saves money. Now for formatting code, please try to keep the source code every file less than 78 lines, maximum line, 78 lines. And you will use braces, open brace for a function like this, open brace. Open brace of the function struct number is of column number 1. You keep it at the same line with the name of the function. And then the content inside the brace must be indented. It means inside here you have to add the tag. Okay, we'll leave it for you and everyone will violate the convention easily because you don't pay attention. So I will leave it for you. So please don't blame me that I didn't warn you, that I don't warn you about the convention, about violations of the convention. I know that we have only 2 minutes left, but make it variable, right? Now for if and else, always use the braces to keep the condition inside. And don't put any parentheses next to keywords, like the keywords do, why, over here. And use the empty line to separate blocks. Like this, you have these blocks different from these blocks, so please use the empty line to separate them. It's easier for us to track. This is what happened if you don't follow the convention. You look at the beauty. What happened with the windows?
It's not a linear.
It's not in the line.
Yeah.
It's look very messy. So please always use tab to indent your code, to keep your code with some indent, and keep everything in line. Okay, for the other